My name is Maryse, and I would like to speak with you today about getting your life right. Most people I know have one or two or more areas in their life where they feel their life isn't quite right. Now, when I observe people, when something isn't right in their life, they start doing their best, and with willpower and their best, they try to make these circumstances go away. But I can tell you here right now that that is not a very efficient way to make your circumstances go away. It isn't. And anything that you make go away in the outside world with willpower and with doing your best, with trying to say the right things or trying to do the right things, it might go away for a little while. But before you know, these circumstances will appear right in front of your face again. They might at first look different, wear a different mask, but if you look closely, they are the same circumstances. There's another way to get your life right. And for this, you have to take my word for it, that this existence is a thought-created existence. All phenomena that appear in your outside world have an inner psychic root that gives it life. Here inside, you give life to your outside phenomena. Here are the roots for all the things that do work in your life. Here you give life to everything that is on track in your life. But this is also the place where you give life to everything that is not on track on your life, in your life. So if you want to change an outside phenomena, an outside circumstances, something that doesn't work right, the fastest way to get it out of your circumstances, out of the outer appearance, is to trace it back to the root inside here deep down in your psychic. Once you find the root, once you see how it is you yourself that gives life to that circumstance, you can stop it. And once you stop giving it life from inside, you will see within no time your outer circumstance will disappear out of your life. Now the first thing, if you're serious about this, is to become the observer of your own life. It will be like going to the movie, but now you are in a mean leading part. Observe yourself. What do I say? How do I stand? And what do I do? Follow all your actions. When you're the observer, I mean just observe. I didn't say judge yourself. I didn't say feel guilty. No, just observe. With no opinions. See yourself as it is. No judgments. If certain things in your life aren't right, the observer soon will find certain repetitive ways of acting that keep this outer circumstance alive. Now I give you an example. Let's say you're married for 22 years and you feel your relationship is sort of boring, grey, flat. But once this relationship 22 years ago started like new, open, fresh, and you know that isn't right, and you wonder how can it be that something so new, open, fresh, lovingly and beautiful turned into something grey and weary. And some people say, oh, that's life and you have to accept it. It happens with every relationship. But I tell you, that's not true. It is possible to keep a relationship new, fresh and open every day. But that means that you need an inner psychic with no roots feeding grey, boring and weary. Now, let's say that is your situation. Now, trying to do things outside is not very efficient. You can bring her flowers, you can do your best and book a beautiful romantic holiday, but that is not really going to turn around a weary, grey and boring 22-year-old relationship. But you might have a chance when you become the observer of your own life. Because then you will follow your actions and you will hear yourself all day long talking. You will actually start hearing the tone and the voice and the quality of the things you say to your spouse. And you will actually follow and see all the things you do in interaction with your spouse. And you will see the quality of the things you do. And once you've seen it over and over again, it might not be so difficult to understand why your relationship is very grey, old and boring. Because if you greet her in a boring way, then the relationship is boring. By becoming the observer of your own life, you start recognizing your habitual patterns. And once you really see them, see how you are driven through life by your own habitual patterns, then, if that insight comes, then you might be so fed up that the observer one day will say, no more of this. And at first you might stop your habitual patterns. You might not be able to put other words or other deeds in place. You just might silence them. You might stop saying hello in the morning. But one thing you know, you don't want to say it in that boring, grey way anymore. So you stop refraining. And you know, the beauty is, once you stop speaking and once you stop acting, the world doesn't fall apart and your relationship doesn't fall apart. You might have a spouse like, hey, what's happening? Because you can spare her your boring greetings in the morning. If they not have the right tone, if they don't have the right voice, where your love and your illumination for your spouse sound through, then you better not greet her at all. So she might feel relieved without your boring morning greet. And while you don't spill all your time anymore in going over and over in the same repetitive habitual patterns, you might actually have time to look at her and observe her. And once you observe her, you might find things back from that very first period where everything was new, fresh and open. Because if it was once there, it can be found again. I'm not talking about someone that has is not belonging to you. I'm talking about the one that you were once so in love with that you decided to marry her and have children and build a house. Now there must be something. And that's something you're not going to find when you go in with your habitual patterns. You're going to find when you break with these patterns. These patterns you don't break with willpower. You break them by observing yourself and becoming so bored of your own very wary movie that you fall silent. You literally fall silent. And then it's time to observe again. Look out your eyes and observe. You fall silent, and when you fall silent, the world is fresh and new again. Again. If you want to change things in your life, become the observer. If you want to use willpower, use it then at least to stay put to the observer. Watch the movie of your own life. There will come a point where you're fed up with your own habitual patterns. You will fall silent and you will be able to look fresh and new to all these curious phenomena that manifest in your outer existence. Thank you for listening.